this, and we were very careful with it. We had a hard line into the Capitol Police database. It was a standalone machine. We disabled the capacity to do screenshots or make copies. We had password protection for each person who accessed it, and also kept a written record. And before anything was used, we had the agreement through the general counsel of the Capitol Police, because there are security issues.
So Lofgren. Or you could just give all of it to Tucker Carlson. Yeah, how's that for security? Hey, Chris, you said you, Tucker Carlson, are a soulless, empty suit who spits up lies concocted in a writer's room to stir up a white supremacist rebellion for ratings and profit. You'll end up a footnote in media history, remembered as an awkward, irresponsible little boy, a whiny voice knockoff of a fascist despot. Who said that?
El Kabong.
No, Bob Cesca. Hi, Bob.
Hi, good morning. You know, El Kabong was my DJ name in 1982. I worked at a Hispanic language station.
I see. Yes.
I was El Kabong in the morning. Yes. It was a very short-lived radio job. I got fired.
A giant gong every time you told a joke instead of a
slide
whistle.
I had one of those big car horns that went.
El Kabong strikes again. Everybody in the morning. Okay.
Yes, indeed. I could do that all day.
Hey, Bob, so little time, so much. Well, first of all, treason. We'll get to that. But what do you think of Walter the dog, the jury foreman in
4-person?
Yes, the 4-person.
The 4-chick.
Yes, in Georgia.
Yeah, this was dumb. This kind of flies in the face of everything we've been talking about with regard to indicting and then prosecuting Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You got to be super careful with this. You can't just willy-nilly go and indict an ex-president, and you got to be super careful and making sure that not only do you have an airtight case, but the case was formed on the level.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why Merrick Garland has been taking so long with these grand juries investigating Trump. And so this grand jury foreman stepping out and just being like, blah, 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 hey, hi, boy, we got pages and pages of indictments, and you won't believe the next plot twist. It's amazing. She's on there like a TikToker or something, and it's just going to blow up in the face of the entire process. And not only that, but
it is like a TikTok. I feel like Bernie Sanders is going to wander into it and go, shut up. What are you talking about?
I love that video. There's another video like that, but with George Lucas, just randomly wandering into someone else's documentary. It's amazing.
We're all going to be in someone else's TikTok at some point. It's inevitable.
But then Bernie just looking so Bernie, and just what's going on? I don't understand. What is this, flash mob? I don't know. What is the flash mob?
Are we having a dance off? What is this? Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I think this is a situation where the people involved with this need to be extra careful. And I don't usually blame the victim, but she's making herself a target by being so verbose at this stage and putting herself out there like that. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if she was already being assaulted and doxxed by every red hat maniac on social media right now.
Exactly. Meanwhile, let's keep our eyes on the real treason. You talk about this all the time, Bob, about just how casually people use like Civil War and secession.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we know Marjorie Taylor Greene's a full-time troll, but you just said idiot secessionists seem to think if they separate from the United States, their seceded nation will also be the United States. That's not how it works, and the name's taken. I mean, again, just idiot trolling.
I think what Marjorie Taylor Greene believes is that we're going to secede, red states are going to secede, and we'll be the United States. And the nation that we seceded from, well, you're going to have to figure something else out. No, that's not. Yeah. If you try to do this, you're on your own. And I think that's something they simply don't grasp.
And as we keep saying, we're all the giver states, they're all the taker states. So good luck.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that isn't grasped by people like Marjorie Taylor Greene is that democracy and the union are inextricably bound to each other. The point of the American experiment was to show that democracy can function over a large landmass with a large population. And if we start telegraphing the notion that, well, we got too many people and too much land here, democracy just won't work. Imagine the repercussions of that. Imagine the despotism and the awfulness that would arise from setting that example.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, one of the things that Abraham Lincoln was so cognizant of right before and during the Civil War, because this was a big deal to set up something like the United States, set up a republic like this. And he desperately wanted to preserve it for that reason, because he knew the example that it would set, not just repercussions for the American people, but repercussions deep into the future with other nations as well.
I mean, you were all over. You said it best on Twitter. You said there's nothing more unpatriotic than secession. You said, and when those red states collapse economically under the ungainly weight of MAGA religion, they'll all blame the Democrats somehow. I mean, yeah,
it's absolutely true. Why did you let us? You let us go. I don't know. It was like when Trump was challenged on not paying any taxes. He's like, well, you made the tax law.
Right.
Right. But wait a minute.
That makes me smart. Yeah.
Exactly.
You said, Marjorie Taylor Greene's original tweet, you said, in other words, I love the United States so much, I might just have to abandon it and its constitution. I mean.
Yeah.
It's.
One of the frustrating things, Stephanie, is also seeing some liberals saying, hey, yes, please go, leave.
Yeah.
Secession, that's fine as long as you're doing it.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not fine. It's not fine.
As
no
any
matter
of
who
my
does
exes can tell you, that was a joke. I didn't think they were really going to leave.
And that's why they're exes.
Exactly right. But I mean, just the whole idea of entertaining it is almost as bad as the people who actually want to secede, because it's more than just, well, it's going to cause a civil war. Well, that, but everything I said before about democracy and about forming a stable democracy over a large landmass with a large population. It's so crucial that this works.
Right.
Otherwise, more Vladimir Putin's deep into our future.
I mean, on the depressing side, you said the other thing about MTG's endorsement of secession, it's what you go to when you've given up on rationally solving national problems with words and votes. It's quitting and storming off. You said doofus secessionist who's too stupid to understand that democracy and the Union are linked. She's also too stupid to understand that millions of American heroes have died to preserve both.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what's endlessly frustrating for Democratic lawmakers is they're just clickbait now. They're not interested in governing. They're not interested in a shared solving of problems, right? They're just, how do we F things up and then blame it on Biden and the Democrats, right?
Exactly right. And then when things don't work out, if we can't make a valid argument to try to draw people together, well, bye-bye, I'm going to flip over the Monopoly board and storm off like a 4-year-old.
Yeah, or like Chris Loy with the Lincoln log doesn't look perfect. He just throws it at the wall. Leaves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The modern vernacular, you get frustrated with a video game and you chuck the controller across the room.
At the
That's
TV
what the
and break
do.
the TV. Yeah, I've seen America's Funniest Home Videos.
Exactly.
Anyone born before 2000 doesn't understand my board game reference, so I'm aware of that.
You made a larger point. It's not a surprise then that the Marjorie Taylor Greens are against helping Ukraine. They're sort of anti-democracy worldwide. I mean, they are like Vladimir Putin's wet dream. Retweeted Aaron Rupar said DeSantis downplays the threat Russia poses to other countries. I think it's important to point out, I mean, the fear of Russia is going into NATO countries and all that steamrolling, and that hasn't even come close to happening. And you just said if Meatball Ron wins, Ukraine and its people are doomed, and that's for starters. Yeah, I mean, it is like Malcolm Nance wrote, that's why his next book was The Plot to Hack Democracy. The first one was Plot to Hack America, and the second was to hack democracy worldwide.
Yeah, and that's sort of endemic of our politics right now, where every election is coming down to some sort of severe existential threat. And if the Republicans win in 2024, if it's Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley or, heaven forbid, Donald Trump, the repercussions of that are going to be enormous. Not only will Donald Trump get pardoned, at least at the federal level, across the board, irrespective of whether it's him or someone else, the Republican Party will, let Donald Trump off. That's a given. The other thing is Ukraine will fall to Russia. And once Ukraine falls to Russia, that puts Belarus, that puts Eastern Europe, everything is on the table suddenly again for Vladimir Putin. Everything is there for the taking. Yeah. Right now, we're blocking him, and he didn't count on that. Vladimir Putin counted on Joe Biden losing the 2020 election and for Donald Trump to just welcome him into Ukraine. That's why one of the reasons why I think it went so badly for Vladimir Putin, because he planned to have an easy go of it with Donald Trump in the White House.
Yeah.
But that didn't work out for him. So this is all to say that if Ron DeSantis wins, for example, it's going to be as if George McClellan won in 1864 and basically negotiated a peace treaty with the Confederacy, allowing that nation to exist, destroying the Union. I mean, again, the ramifications are too enormous to even get into to describe.
Yeah.